Thanks for joining us here on this edition of Ravens Rundown, powered by Chat Sports. Tyler Jones here, and we are talking roster moves for the Baltimore Ravens. I got 4 potential free agent targets that the Baltimore Ravens could look at signing prior to training camp. We'll go over the list of names and how they would exactly fit in the Baltimore Ravens system coming up in just a matter of moments. Before we do, we're over halfway through the month of June here at Ravens Rundown, and we got a battle going on, a sub-battle not just between a couple teams, but throughout the entire company here at Chat Sports to see who can get the most subs this month. And I hate to report this, we are not in the top 10 at the moment, and there is plenty of work to be done. It can still happen, folks. If you subscribe today, then that'll help our chances to get into the top 10 and see if we can finish atop the leaderboard for the most subscribers here on the channel. Daily news and rumors. We're doing Q&A mailbags, breaking news, and more. We are your Ravens offseason headquarters. Subscribe now for free, youtube.com/RavensTV. The cap space situation as things stand right now, the Ravens have close to $7 million. Not a ton of money, but just enough to make one more decent signing before the season officially begins. And you look at this Ravens team, we've heard the rumblings about the wide receiver position. We know that they've talked about potential options at safety or edge rusher. I think that there's a possibility that the Ravens, before we go full throttle here, go after one or two of those players and try to make one last move to try to sharpen this roster up. And we've seen in the past, where guys were late additions to the roster, right? That once their price tags went down, the Ravens made that jump. They've had a good track record with some of these moves in the past. So with that said, let's start at the wide receiver position. Let's begin with a big name here, Michael Thomas. Most recently with the New Orleans Saints, comes in at 31 years of age. And Michael Thomas, this is a guy that played at an incredibly high level a few years ago, but injuries and a couple other things have brought him down a bit where he's not the same player that he once was a couple years ago. I don't think that he's ever going to be an elite receiver again, if we're going to be honest with you. But he can still have an impact on any offense that he joins if he stays healthy. Thomas, a former second-round pick out of Ohio State by the Saints, was the NFL Offensive Player of the Year as recently as 2019. And the resume, pretty good. 3-time Pro Bowler, 2-time receptions leader, also led the NFL in yardage at one point in his career. You go back to that 2019 campaign when he was Offensive Player of the Year, had over 1,700 yards and 9 touchdowns with 11.6 yards per reception. This past year, his numbers in 10 games played had 39 catches for 448 yards, 11.5 per catch with 1 touchdown. If the Ravens could get that out of Michael Thomas as your number 3 or number 4 receiver, played alongside Nelson Aguilar, and let Zay Flowers and Rashad Bateman be your top 2 guys, I think you would be okay with that. And if he stays healthy, his numbers would even be better than that. So we'll see. I don't think it's a bad idea to potentially look at Michael Thomas. What do you guys think? Should the Ravens sign Michael Thomas? Type Y for yes, N for no. Way in the comment section to let us know what you think. Let's talk another receiver option now. This guy a little bit younger than Michael Thomas. That is Hunter Renfrow at age 28. Where's Hunter? Where has he been the last couple of seasons? It wasn't too long ago that he was a Pro Bowler and had over 1,000 yards and seemed like he was ascending the right direction. But the last 2 seasons, he has dropped off quite a bit. But even with that said, if you're the Baltimore Ravens and you're in the market looking for number 3 receiver options, Hunter Renfrow wouldn't be a bad fit to be that number 3 guy. A Pro Bowler back in 2021, plenty of experience, 73 career games played with 23 starts. He is your atypical slot receiver, right? And could bring a nice element, a nice safety net, if you will, for Lamar Jackson in this Ravens offense. Statistically speaking, here's the fall-off we're talking about here. Had that 1,000-yard season back in 2021, but since then, 2022, had just 330 yards and 2 touchdowns. 2023 played in all 17 games and yet only had 255 yards and no touchdown grabs. So let's ask you, if you had to choose, if all things are equal, would you rather go with Michael Thomas or would you rather go with Hunter Renfrow? If you'd rather roll with Michael Thomas, type MT for Michael Thomas. If you'd rather roll with Hunter Renfrow, type HR for Hunter Renfrow. Let us know in the comments section which one you'd rather have on your team. One player we're excited to have on our team here in Baltimore is Nate Wiggins, and his jerseys are on sale now at chatsports.com/Wiggins. Got the purple options, got the white options, and a few others to choose from. Go see for yourself. Men's and women's sizes available as well. He's going to wear the number 2, so just swap out that 1 for the number 2. Go see for yourself. chatsports.com/Wiggins. Free shipping also available. That's chatsports.com/Wiggins. Let's go over to the defense, rather. And this guy, I'm very surprised, is still available on the free agent market at this point. That is Justin Simmons, 30 years old, most recently with the Denver Broncos. And this man should not still be on the market as far as I'm concerned. He had a very good season in 2023, and here we are. He's still waiting for a phone call to see where he's going to end up playing this upcoming season. And I know that we've heard about conversations that the Ravens have had with Jamal Adams and that they're interested in getting a third safety because the Ravens are going to play 3 safeties, right? We've seen that over the last couple of years, that Geno Stone role, trying to replace Geno Stone, if you will. Why should I settle for a guy like Jamal Adams, who struggles in coverage and struggles to stay healthy, when I could do much better and get Justin Simmons, who was one of the best players on the free agent market before free agency even began? 3rd-round pick back in 2016. Here's what we're talking about production-wise as far as what you're getting right now. He was a second-team All-Pro this past year in 2023, folks. 4-team second-team All-Pro, 2019, 2021, and in 2022. And as far as replacing Geno Stone goes of that role, he was the co-leader in interceptions in 2022. Geno Stone, of course, had 6 last year. What did Justin Simmons have in 2022? 6 interceptions. So you get the turnover machine. Last year was pretty solid as well. 3 interceptions, 2 forced fumbles. You get a playmaker that can fly around and do his thing and kind of be the floater, if you will. Let Kyle Hamilton and Marcus Williams hold things down as your primary safeties and then move Justin Simmons, let him be flexible. Coverage does need a bit of work, although you get the turnover ability with Justin Simmons. He does give up some too. Allowed a quarterback rating of 85.9, completion percentage of 64%, and 324 yards. But I still think there's a whole lot more good than bad when it comes with Justin Simmons, who is a player the Ravens should sign in NFL free agency. We've gone over a few names. Got one more name to get to in a moment, but want to hear from you guys first. Weigh in the comments section and let us know what you think. Last one, a very familiar name to Baltimore Ravens fans. That is Yannick Ngakoue. Ngakoue coming in at 29 years of age, and this would be a return. He's been a journeyman. He's played for several different teams at this point. But think about this, right? The Ravens this year are going to be asking a lot of David Ojabo, a guy who has struggled to stay healthy. And if we're going to be fair, the Ravens knew what they signed up for when they drafted Ojabo. He was hurt before he even played it down for the Baltimore Ravens, right, when he was coming into that draft. Yannick could be a nice safety net, if you will, for this Ravens defense. If Ojabo can't stay healthy, or somebody else for that matter, Yannick Ngakoue is a nice save of sorts, if you will. Could be an insurance policy, a way to look at it, and still very productive at this point in his career. Pro Bowler back in 2017, led the NFL in forced fumbles. We mentioned was previously with the Ravens at one point, played for the Bears, Colts, Raiders, Vikings, Jags, but there's some work to be done. Yannick Ngakoue looking for a prove-it contract, if you will. I think you can get him for about $4.5 million. And we've seen the track record with the Ravens when it comes to these veteran pass rushers like Justin Houston, Jadeveon Clowney, Kyle Van Noy, or others. They take advantage of getting these veterans on cheap contracts, and they have 9, 10-plus sack seasons. Yannick Ngakoue, 9.5 sacks back in 2022, 10 in 2021. No reason to think that he can't do that again and do a good job fit into this Ravens defense. Thanks for joining us here on Ravens Rundown today. Subscribe now for continuing Ravens offseason coverage. YouTube.com/RavensTV. I'm Tyler Jones. We'll see you next time.